What's up, Flannelverse and Run Pure Sports? After a 1-week hiatus, I am back with my friend John Surabian. John, I've seen you. You've been doing some content. I saw you ripped a 555 draft this past week. How have you been? How was your vacation?
Yeah, vacation was good. Got to bring the baby on a plane for the first time. That was a experience for sure. Actually, was really good though. On the plane, slept the whole way down. The way back, he was up most of the time, but as long as we were entertaining him, he was pretty good. So no complaints there with the ride down and the ride back. And he loved the Florida weather, Neil. He slept all the time. The Florida weather just knocked him out cold because we got our longest stretches of sleep ever in Florida. So I don't know. I might have to move down there.
I forget what part of Florida were you in?
Palm Coast.
Never been to Palm Coast. I imagine it's pretty hot right now.
Yeah, it was pretty hot. It was, I mean, it was obviously it was beautiful. So yeah, but it was hot out. But he liked it. He napped right outside. You like unzipping his shirt all the way down and just let him just lay there on a pillow and he just conks out. So it was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Malayal, I don't know if this is a name.
My guy Raul.
Oh, Raul. Yes, we are going to be doing the $25. I'm just about to enter. So if you want to join with us, we're getting in right now. I got a ticket here, earned during best ball week. As long as I can get in.
The location check. You didn't do the deposit.
It's taking a minute.
You got to do the deposit trick before you get into these things.
Oh, it worked.
Okay, you're
10 out of 12. We need 2 more.
We'll get to
What's
2
the
more.
deposit
That was easy. You know, where you click the deposit, like you're going to deposit money, it's like a different location check. So you do that before you start entering. For whatever reason, it's a different one. I think Karain was the leader of this because Sack told me about it. And I'm pretty sure Karain was the one that like talked about it first. But yeah, no, it works. It works. If you hit the deposit, you don't have to obviously deposit money. Just click deposit. Every time you click deposit, it gives you the location check. And then once it okays you, then you can just click out of deposit and go enter your tournaments.
That's good to know. I was not familiar. I think somebody might have mentioned it on one of these. All right, we are in the where are we? We're in the 10 hole. Several familiar faces in here. I see Exumian is in the 1 hole. We've got Charles with the Flannelverse in the 6 hole. Trying to see if I know Kevin Waite sounds familiar. Who else is in here? Anybody else want to shout out that you are in this draft with us? Let me know.
Let's see. My guy Raul. My guy Raul in the 3rd spot right there.
He's Paisal Pampu. Okay.
Yep.
Jim Helpert in here. I feel like Jim Helpert. I actually know who that is, but I can't remember who it is. But I feel like they've been in chat before.
I feel like I've seen him before. Is C Holt in this draft? Am I missing him?
C Holt is in the 4 hole. C Holt 27.
Yeah, there we go. So we got a few guys in here.
Yep. Friends and family.
By the way, JSU slamming some Uncrustables, Spencer. No shot. I don't think I've ever had that.
You're not an Uncrustables guy?
I don't think I've ever had
I
that.
I hosted maybe 5 years ago or so a Uncrustables and bourbon party. So that's the only time I've had Uncrustables is when we had it was something that I feel like somebody had maybe like mentioned it on Twitter that they did that, and then my friends and I started joking about doing it, and then somehow it became a reality that just like, all right, fine, I'll host. We will have Uncrustables and bourbon. So just that's what it was. We ate Uncrustables and we drank bourbon at my house.
I've had bourbon before, not Uncrustables though, so I can't say that. Marvin Mom says he was in a few BBMs with. Yeah, I was trying to up my BBM game yesterday. For some reason, I was just like, well, I didn't get to draft a lot on vacation, so that was one bummer of vacation. So yesterday I was like, man, I got to get to like halfway through BBM, so I just started started just firing BBMs left and right, multi-table until I got to 75. So I'm at 75 now, Neil. So I'm halfway through.
I'm at like 100, I think, in BBM, and I kind of regret having done as many as I have, because I'm glad I did the early ones where you could get some fun, players that you can't get in the same position now. But I feel like it's been pretty stagnant for a while, and I've been trying to do it anyway. And now I'm like, I feel like I should have just waited until we're getting more news. Like I regret that I didn't save more bullets for, second half of August, which I think has always been kind of my best period for drafting. So I'm a little bit ahead of where I want to be, I think, in both Best Ball Mania and the DraftKings Melee. So I actually kind of regret that I've drafted as much as I have.
Yeah, it's funny because you actually said this to me one of the first times we started drafting with these shows. You were like, yeah, because I remember asking you, like, what do you think about drafting early versus drafting late? And we had the conversation, and you did say, like, I feel like I make better teams later in the year than I do early in the year. So it's funny you didn't.
Yeah, just couldn't help myself. Jonathan Taylor, Justin Jefferson, CD Lamb. Who do you like here?
I am a CD or JT guy, depending on what you want to do with like running back or wide receiver. I would go JT, I think.
Yeah, I'm JT or Jefferson. So JT is the consensus then.
Done.
I a couple days ago did a DraftKings Millie and got JSN at pick 11. So that was pretty fun.
So that's interesting because I have seen him in a few drafts now slide to, you said 11. I haven't seen 11, but like 8, 9, 10 I've seen in the last few. And I wonder what that's about. Maybe just people trying to do different things in the middle of the draft.
I think that's part of it. People are just kind of bored with doing the same thing over and over. So like, I guess I'll pick, bring this player up instead.
I won't lie. Pick 5 is kind of boring. It's like, oh, it's Jason. It's like Puka at pick 4. You're like, oh, it's Puka. It's I don't know. Saquon here.
Saquon would be my pick here. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Saquon or Kenny Walker for me. So,
all right,
we can go Saquon.
Consensus Saquon. Yeah, nice start there. We got the 9 hole, unfortunately, is in chat. Government Slave 03 is the name, is in chat with us. So they're probably going to snipe us every turn.
Oh, that's Eric. Yeah, he's in a bunch of my drafts. So I don't know if he watches all the time, but I see him all the time in these drafts. So yeah, I see you, Eric. 88C.
Oh, we got ATX Bear in the 10 hole or in the 12 hole also. So yeah, this is big time friends and family draft.
All right. Well, no sniping. We got to throw these guys off, Neil. So we got to start talking about players that we don't like, but don't say anything just so they won't even realize it. We'll have to like talk them up a little, even though we'll know. Start a side DM with me, and we'll know that we're just playing it up for the crowd or something like that.
I mean, we got to go Josh Allen with this next pick, right? I mean, Josh
yeah,
Allen,
there you go.
Just an all-time, easily the 101 quarterback, and nobody wants him. This is crazy.
I can't even get away with Jadarian Price when we get into like the 6th round, can I? Talking up Jadarian Price, like I can't even get away with that one. People will know that.
Nobody's buying
lying. Yeah, no one's buying that shit. Jim Jerry said, how many are you guys in the DK main? He's at 50. Yeah, time to turn it up. Well, if at this point, I would just, I don't know if it would be like time to turn it up when we're right near training camp, right?
What I would do is turn up your slows so that you'll be like on the clock when news is breaking more frequently. Like just do like 5 new slows a day for a while.
If you're a slow draft guy, I'm not a slow draft guy. I don't know if Jim is or not, but yeah, if you're a slow draft, that actually makes a lot of sense because you can kind of catch news in a bottle in some of your drafts, right? Like that's kind of the idea, right, Neil? Stuff breaks and you're just on the clock and you're like, oh, hey, look, this guy is probably going to start going 30 picks earlier than ADP. I should draft him right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm 70. I think I'm 76 in the main right now. 94. So I'm 70.
94.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You got me beat.
Yeah.
You really couldn't hold back this year, man. You're going to start getting in some different contests for a little bit, Neil.
Part of it is this, during best ball week, DraftKings keeps doing like enter 15 and you'll get $75. And I'm like, all right, I'll take that free money. So part of it has been the promos kind of sucking me in. I misread a promo. So they had one last week that was you could win a lot of money by entering 15, and it was like way too much money. It was like $500. So I should have seen it right off the bat, but it was in the $5 Monster Millie, and I didn't see that it was the 555. So I thought I was just like, oh, I just have to enter the $25 milli and I'm going to win, get all this money from. So I kept entering. And then in the end was like, oh shit, that's the wrong milli. Like, and obviously it was like pretty obvious in retrospect, but yeah, I got sucked in.
Yeah. You're like, this deal is way too good to be true.
Exactly.
But you're like, how am I not doing this right now?
Yeah.
Damn, we almost got Chris Olave back at 30. What do you go? 32? That's pretty good.
Well, this is funny. Josh Allen has an ADP of 26.5. I didn't realize his ADP is so high. He is a faller right now. Still not my preferred option, but
he's not my preferred option either. But he goes there, so we don't even have to think about it.
Breece Hall, Ladd McConkey, T. Higgins. Who do you like here? Colston Loveland.
I'd go Ladd or Breece. I'd probably go Ladd.
Okay. Let's do it. First wide receiver.
Yeah, I think like Breece, I have ahead of Ladd technically in the rankings, but since we started out with JT and Saquon, it's like I think Ladd's an okay pick right there. That as opposed to Breece, but I do have Breece like technically ranked, a spot or two higher or whatever.
Yeah, I like probably would more normally go Breece there. It's it does please me less aesthetically that he has the same bye week as one of our guys. So that's as JT, I guess.
I didn't even remember that, but you're right. Yeah, that's
it just showed up on the sidekick. It doesn't even matter. Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Colston Loveland, Josh Jacobs.
I am like I'm not a Garrett Wilson guy where he's going, so I am like any of those other Jalen Waddle. I'm getting super bullish on Tetero McMillan.
Would you rather go Tet over Waddle?
No, we can go Waddle there. It's fine.
Okay.
I personally have, I think, do I have Tet over? Now I got to double check here. What do I have in my rankings? I have them close. I know that. Let's see. Because I'm wondering now too, because I made an update and I want to see where No, I still have Waddle slightly ahead, but I moved Ted up a few spots. And I don't know, I might move him. Jalen Waddle is a really good pick. Obviously, he's just, he feels like a very comfortable pick there in the 4th round. But I think, and I talked about this on my Sunday stream, and then I saw this article that, I think it was an article that our guy Zane pulled up from somebody talking about how they're going to start using Tet in the slot a little bit more, the big slot. And my whole thing on Sunday, before seeing that article or whatever it was like, I think the Chris Brazzell pick, the more I thought about it, it was kind of an indicator that they want someone else to play like in the Tet spot so they can start moving Tet around a little bit more. So they get another guy with speed, but is a big body who is an outside receiver, right? So they can line him up outside and Tet can be moved a little bit more around. Because I think Coker, even though everyone sees Coker like we want him to play in the slot, I think he can also move around too. I think he's good enough. I think the Panthers view him as good enough where he doesn't have to always play in the slot. And it just makes it a little harder for defenses when you can move your 2 best players around a little bit more. And in my head, I was like, this makes sense. And then I saw Zane, like literally the next day, he tweets out this article or whatever, talking about how they're going to use this guy, more and, in different spots in the slot. The route tree is going to expand, which is huge. I think he talked about that a little bit when I had him on, but it just makes so much sense to me why. Because in my head, I was like, why did they go get Chris Brazzell? Like, they don't like need another guy. You know what I mean? They have 2, like, I think Coker and Tet is like a really good 1-2, honestly. But like Brazel makes sense to me now, because if they're going to utilize Tet more all around the field, well, then you want someone to be able to go and replace him on the outside, besides Coker. And so that filler kind of makes sense to me here. So yeah, it makes me really like Tet more. I think the volume's going to go up. And the targets, I mean, were already pretty good last year. I was going through a lot of his numbers, and I wasn't a Tet guy last year, so I didn't realize like how good, when you look through some of his numbers, Neil, like he actually was.
Yeah, I mean, he's elite. He just, like, obviously everybody knows the real concern is just the quarterback play, the whole offense.
Correct.
Like, are they going to be able to move the ball and score touchdowns? That's the knock on Ted. It's definitely not the talent. Long term, I think Ted's going to be a monster. Yeah, no, so I haven't drafted a ton of Ted, and I've sort of just the last week or so started questioning whether that's a bad decision, just because I've been doing like Waddle over Ted, and so some of these other, McConkey and Ibuka and stuff, all these other players are like clear ahead of Tet for me. So I haven't taken a ton, but I have started to question that, because it's like, yeah, he is so talented. Like, who says he doesn't take another leap, in his year two, very much well within the range of outcomes.
Yeah, I mean, 15th in target percentage. His air yards were 5th overall in the NFL. Like, that's pretty good, honestly.
Who do you like here? Trevion, Bucky?
Trevion. That's another guy I'm getting very bullish on.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against Trevion. Obviously has to deal with Ramondre Stevenson, but year two breakout well within his range of outcomes also. And I think, the floor is I think he's a small miss, big hit type player. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree with that. And remember, you still have the, contingency outlier where like dude smashes if something happens to Ramondre anyways, even if he doesn't take over the role, because we saw what happened in that like 3-week sample where he was just the man. And we're back on the clock here, so I'll talk about it a little more after. But Drake May goes. That's kind of a bummer, because I thought that would have been a nice pairing.
I would have been willing to do Drake May.
Rome's a little faller. Tyler Warren. We have JT. Tyler Warren.
There we go.
Yeah.
Build out a little Colts thing.
So one other thing me and Zane actually were talking about, because I had Zane on my show on Friday when I got back, and we were talking about that whole situation with AJ Brown coming to the Patriots, and what does that really mean? And he was talking about how, the Patriots last year saw, single high safety looks at like one of the highest rates. So pretty much like defenses didn't really respect the Patriots receivers, were pretty much the idea. And now they go out, and the two of the moves they do is go get AJ Brown and Romeo Doubs. So it's like, okay, we're going to upgrade at this position that a lot of guys or a lot of teams didn't really respect us in. So now we're going to put out two. I mean, they were 2 number ones last year for their team, to be honest. So 2 really good receivers. We're going to upgrade that spot. What does that change from a defensive standpoint? Because we all know AJ Brown, he loves to take the top off the defense, as I like to say. He loves the go stuff. Drake May throws a really nice deep ball. Do defenses continue to play them like that? Or does AJ Brown change that, which I think he does? And if he does, who are the biggest beneficiaries of that? I don't know if it's necessarily AJ Brown. I think it might be the running game. I think it might be Trevion Henderson. Remember, they throw to the backs a lot. Drake May will have to check it down more if, it's more 2 high safety looks. He's probably going to have to check it down. The middle of the field, I think, is going to be easier to look through, which is like a Hunter Henry type thing. So I'm getting more bullish on the running game for the Patriots. Hunter Henry, Romeo Doubs, who I think plays more in the slot at times. And so, yeah, AJ Brown, not that I don't like AJ Brown, but I think I'm getting more interested in what AJ Brown does for the rest of the team, what he opens up, and why they spent all that capital to go get him.
Yeah, no, I do think that that is part of it with AJ Brown, is that obviously he does open up the rest of the offense. Obviously going to be great for Trevion, for Ramondre, whoever is getting the carries for the Patriots. But yeah, like you said, like it's the base case for Trevion Henderson. Like people are assuming that he's the low end of a 60-40 split, but there's a very real case that he just becomes the higher end of a 60-40 split with everybody healthy. But then, like you said, Ramondre gets hurt, suddenly it's just the Trevion show, as we've seen, and he absolutely smashed in that role last year. Last year, part of his issue was the run blocking. What was not great. He was an elite run blocker in college, maybe just, kind of struggled with learning a new scheme and a kind of a complicated scheme on the Patriots. So now the run blocking gets better. Suddenly he can get in there on passing plays. Also, I think there's just a million reasons to be bullish on Trevion Henderson. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I have him at the head of that tier, ahead of Quinshon Judkins and these other running backs that go in kind of the same group.
And you would have to think too, like he knows, like Trevion Henderson knows, like they didn't trust you in pass protection. So like you assume he's going to work all off season on, getting stronger, those situations, dealing with that type of stuff to get ready. Because like you said, that's the way he's already better than Ramondre. Like as a talent, he's way better. It's just they trusted Ramondre more. So it was easier to lean on Ramondre than it was Trevion. But man, if he just fixes that one gap that Ramondre was ahead of him in, he's better than Ramondre everywhere else.
Yeah. All right. So this is going to be an interesting decision point coming up. Well, maybe I see some picks that I would really like to make here.
I can't see your board. I can only see the kick. So, there we go. Caleb Williams goes at 79.
Yeah, pretty late for Caleb Williams.
He's just one of those quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
No one drafts him. I assume those guys had like a bear, right? Who drafted him?
Yeah.
He like always goes with one of those three.
So Mekhi Lemon jumps to the top of the kick. I have another name in mind.
Well, don't say it because we know Eric is watching, so we don't want to get sniped. Or no, tell me, Neil. Who's the guy that you're really interested in?
Oh yeah, you got to give me Chuba Hubbard here.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
So Justin Herbert. Oh. We have Vlad McConkey.
Bang.
To me, it'd be Herbert here. Yeah.
Select. Don't even think about it. Just click it and let's move on.
Tucker Kraft is there too, but I mean, we have Tyler Warren. Tucker.
I would rather get my quarterback.
Yeah.
We already have Tyler Warren. So I love Tucker Kraft. It's just, already have Tyler Warren. Want to get my quarterback. I don't want to get sniped by one of these teams that don't even need Justin Herbert, but I don't know. He's the best quarterback, and you can still backstack him with Trey Harris and Arondé Gadsden and Charlie Kolar and Keaton Missile. Like, let's not get caught.
Yeah. So Michael Wilson goes at 83. That's pretty high for Michael Wilson. T-Law goes. That's nice because we don't have anybody to pair with T-Law anyway. Purdy goes. I mean, that's fairly early. I do like Purdy. He might have been an option at 106 for us, but pretty happy with the way that all went down. We still could go with Tucker Kraft or Mekhi Lemon. Who do you like around here?
Well, I mean, Tucker Kraft is the best pick. Mekhi Lemon is probably the pick for our team just by what we need. I assume you have him ahead of Chris Godwin. So
yeah.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, that was tough because I am intrigued by Tucker Kraft there going.
I was intrigued by him too. I just think when you look down the board later, it's so much easier to sell yourself on some of these late tight ends.
True.
As like number 2 tight ends, because we already have our number 1 tight end. So it's like, yeah, would I love Tucker Kraft here? For sure. But, we don't want to get too behind at wide receiver.
Yeah, true.
And we can get Gadsden, Kolar, who knows who we're going to get for a quarterback. Also that pocket of tight ends where you got Andrews, Goddard.
Likely Kelsey,
Kincaid,
Ferguson,
likely.
Kincaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really struggle in drafts when I get to that point. That's one of the hardest things when I get to that point and I don't take a tight end. It feels gross when I don't take a tight end there because
If you don't
it
already
just,
have one.
well, that's what I'm saying. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, even when we have Tyler Warren, when we get to that pocket, look around that pocket and you're like, oh, how are the tight ends just all not the best clicks here?
Yeah.
Like, way
The
better than
worst
the rest.
The worst is if you only have one quarterback at that point, and then you have to like reach for CJ Stroud or Daniel
Yeah.
Jones or something. And like, man, I could just have gotten one of these tight ends. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, though, with these ranges, like the quarterback range. Like, this is the quarterback range right here where we drafted Herbert this round, the next round. Like, I want to try and get two quarterbacks in these ranges because, you know, once you get out of this range, you get into like a different positional range. And it's like those pockets are huge. And you don't want to get stuck where you're like at pick 128 and you're like, well, I got to reach for CJ Stroud now because I don't have a quarterback. You know what I mean? And I can get Tank Dell late or Jalen Noel late. Or I can backstack Sam Darnold with AJ Brown and Cooper Kupp or something like that. Not that that's bad. It's just like I would rather not get in that position unless I have Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. Like if I have those guys, even Drake May,
Yeah. I was
honestly.
going to
Like
say, I'd throw Drake May, maybe even Jaden Daniels on that group.
yeah, the only thing with Jaden I worry about is just the health.
Injury. Yeah.
And we need him to run too. So it's not like we don't want him to run. That's like the Jackson Dart stuff. It's like, well, like maybe they'll stop him from like running a little bit. And it's like, no, well, for fantasy, we don't want that. We we want the upside, those legs. I mean, we kind of want that for him to smash in fantasy football. But yeah, that's the only thing. If I have one of those studs, I'm okay with like, okay, give me Sam Darnold as my QB2. I can live with that. Give me CJ Stroud. Those type of guys. But like Cam Ward, no thank you. Don't trust it. Bryce Young. Josh Allen will make me feel better with Bryce Young, though. I will say.
I need to point something out to you. We're close here to the flippening of Jonathan Brooks and Chuba Hubbard. Chuba goes at 95 in this draft. Jonathan Brooks at 96. That's and I've seen it actually flip here and there. So it is, you know, we're getting closer with the ADPs between those two, which, you know, love to see that as somebody who has a ton of Jonathan Brooks, not a ton of Chuba Hubbard, but not quite getting there yet. Bo Nix does go here. I was worried we were going to get sniped on Bo Nix by the 9-hole here with Cortland Sutton, but no, he goes at 101, I think unstacked. So
the hype on Bo Nix is getting bigger and bigger. Draft him now because when you get once you get like good report on like his health, I think he goes, you know, around earlier. Neil, I think he's starting to go in that range that he should be going in. Everyone's kind of talking him up. The passing volume, the addition of Jalen Waddle. Ooh, Blake Corum's still there.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Feels like a pretty good damn pick right there.
Yep.
And that's our fourth running back, Neil?
It's our fourth running back. We got Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Trevion Henderson, Blake Corum.
Okay.
We're at 1, 4, 3, 1 right now. Quarterback, we just have Justin Herbert. At running back, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Trevion Henderson, Blake Corum. Wide receivers, Lad McConkey, Jalen Waddle, Mekhi Lemon. Tight end, Tyler Warren.
What do you think about the Kyler Murray unstacked to this point?
Yeah, it's probably what I would do.
And not Worthy?
Worthy's interesting too. We're a little bit, you know, hurting at quarterback potentially, but you know, at 130, we could always do Malik Willis. Sometimes you'll get like Baker Mayfield fall in. I'd be fine going Worthy if that's your preference.
I hate getting stuck in this range. Man, Jordan Love there makes me wish we took Tucker Kraft. You could take the quarterback. It's fine.
All right. We're doing Kyler.
Take your Vikings. You know you wanted to.
I mean, you got some backstack options that I like with Kyler Murray also. I would have I wanted
a backstack option.
So I kind of bought in on TJ Hawkinson is the one that
Oh,
I'm more so I know I understand that. I understand the that sigh. I was listening to the Establish the Edge podcast, and Gretsch kind of convinced me on TJ Hawkinson because I think everybody's making excuses, and this is the point that he made, so I don't want to take credit for this point. But Gretsch made the point that everybody's making excuses for Justin Jefferson having lower efficiency last year. Jordan Addison's efficiency was worse last year. The Vikings just were so much worse last year. And with everybody else, we attribute it to, well, that's because they had JJ McCarthy and Max Brosmer throwing the ball. Like these guys are just really bad. With TJ Hawkinson, everybody's saying, well, he just fell off because he's getting older. Like, of course, he's going to fall off. So he's reaching age cliff. He's only 29. He's the same age as Juwan Jennings. And that's and for a tight end, that's not even that old. So like people are making the assumption that TJ Hawkinson has fallen off, whereas really it's just maybe he has. It's possible, but it's also possible that he has another 6 good years in him. And right now he's right in his prime, and we're seeing a fall off where it's not quite there yet. And even if it is, even if the fall off has started, we could see a dead cat bounce here for TJ Hawkinson with Kyler Murray coming in. And I know people want to say like, well, he couldn't throw over the middle of the field at Trey McBride, but it's a different offense because Trey McBride was like the focal point of the offense. Everybody knew he wanted to go there. Whereas TJ Hawkinson is like, people are going to be focused on Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, and TJ Hawkinson, probably easier to find. So I think I'm in on TJ Hawkinson, not as like a reach for me. Like I'm not trying to take him at this turn, but if he's there at the next turn, I think he's a decent add-on with the Kyler Murray pick.
Yeah, my thing would just be, Kyler struggled to make his number one option, regardless of you want to talk about Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison, look good in Arizona. And now he's got so many guys to throw the football to. They just signed Juwan Jennings. Jordan Addison, I think, is a really good receiver. And Justin Jefferson is obviously a top 3 talent at receiver. I guess you can just throw it like that.
Yeah.
Where does TJ Hawkinson fit in this mix? Like, is there enough to go around for TJ Hawkinson if he is right? If he is like healthy, which I think is a big if.
Who do you like here? So Ferguson is a little bit of a fall, so we can get a tight end in this range.
I would take a Diggs or a Higgins here just because there's multiple tight ends, and I'm hoping that one can still fall to us.
I normally go Diggs, but I kind of like the Higgins play, as we might want another quarterback also.
Also, too, Diggs could fall back to us if those tight ends do go.
Yep.
Which they could. So.
Yeah, we just saw Mark Andrews.
And we don't really need a tight end anyways, right? So.
Yeah. Diggs goes. Okay. Cam Ward goes.
Also, I would queue up Rashid Shaheed. I think he's a good pick too.
Okay. We did just see Sam Darnold go. So would you be Shaheed over Stroud? So we just took Jaden Higgins to potentially add on a third quarterback. But I'd be fine if you'd rather just go Shaheed. That works too.
Daniel Jones goes.
So if you queued up Jake Ferguson, CJ Stroud, Rashid Shaheed, who's your favorite of the bunch? We're at 2-4-4-1.
Well, I only would go Stroud if you think this team needs a third quarterback, which you can make the case. In my head, I'm like, do we need receivers more? But we can get, I guess, late receivers later. If you want to go Stroud, that's fine. I'd go him over Ferg, though.
Okay. All right.
Because I think for us, tight end is not going to be as big. It's going to be receiver where I think we're going to have to make up a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, and you can, the nice thing about 20 rounds on DraftKings, like there's so many late receivers that I kind of like.
Right.
So yeah, we're at 3-4-4-1. That one was tough. Like you can make a case for any of those guys, but we're fairly strong at running back with Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Trevion Henderson, Blake Corum. At wide receiver, we are a little bit behind, I'd say, with Ladd McConkey, Jalen Waddle, Mekhi Lemon, and Jaden Higgins. Quarterback, we're strong with Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, CJ Stroud, and tight end, we just have Tyler Warren. So we're in a pretty good spot to heavily target wide receivers and tight ends. Maybe throw on one more running back, something like that.
Keep in mind, too, this is a team that if 3 running backs aren't hitting our squad a lot this year, we're in trouble anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm wanting to pull up some chat now. We're kind of falling behind. Jim Jerry says, "Why is Josh Jacobs going in round 4? His backup can't stay healthy. He's a true workhorse." I think the reason is because he has a lot of miles on him, and he has this legal case kind of hanging over his head. So I think already, I think he's a case where like people are already a little bit bored of it and a little bit like nervous about injury potential because like you say, he has been such a workhorse. So there's a little bit of nervousness that he has more injury risk. There's also like before Marshawn Lloyd got hurt 2 years ago, the coaches are making it sound like it was going to be more of a split, right? It was like we really love Marshawn Lloyd. Like going into that season, the general consensus was this is going to be a split backfield. LaFleur has typically done split backfields historically, even when he's had a clear better player. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, he always had a split backfield. And then Marshawn Lloyd got hurt before the season, and then they just leaned on Josh Jacobs. They did the same thing last year. Marshawn Lloyd maybe can't stay healthy. I know they brought in Damian Martinez, but I think there's a possibility that the Packers would rather have more of a split backfield than they already have. So I think that is a big part of it. But then there's you add on just like any kind of risk of a potential suspension, which people can argue about, like how big of a risk is it really? It's probably not that big, but we don't really know. It's still kind of hanging out there. So I think that, lowers it from he was already kind of a like boring 3rd round pick, I think, for a lot of people. And now he's pushed to the 4th round, but I agree that he is a fairly strong 4th round pick. Do you have anything to add on there, John?
Yeah, I think also too, just people a little nervous about maybe some type of suspension for Josh Jacobs. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think that's ridiculous. So it's the NFL, and we've seen guys get off with, similar things or worse, honestly, and not get in trouble. The way they do things, it just takes forever too, right, Neil? So it's like,
yeah,
I'm not worried about that. I think Josh Jacobs is a great pick in the 4th round. I think it's kind of a boring pick, honestly, but like from a volume standpoint and a workhorse standpoint, he's going to be those things. He's very much going to be like a David Montgomery, volume type of back.
So I'm Travis Hunter all day here, but I don't know if you
saw that saw that picture of Travis Hunter looking swole.
He's swole, man. We got to take that swole boy.
You got a little wood when you saw Travis Hunter
exactly
with that shirt off. I did too. I got like 20% Travis Hunter. Click him. The cornerback stuff is obviously a little worrisome in the fact that, they've got 3 other really good receivers, but they're still going to play him some at receiver. And the upside comes if one of those receivers goes down, because then they might feel they have no choice but to play him more as a receiver. So at 150 or 160, Neil, like in that range, I mean, seems like a pretty good bet just from a talent perspective and like draft capital. They obviously think this kid is really good.
So we only have one tight end. Would you like to add on a Hunter Henry, Juwan Johnson, or somebody else?
I'm definitely a Hunter Henry over Juwan Johnson.
Let's do it.
It'd be him or Trey Tucker for me. Let's do Hunter Henry though.
Yeah, we got so much depth at wide receiver.
Yeah, I like that.
And the thing with Travis Hunter is, like, people see this and they're like, "You're an idiot. He's a cornerback." It's like, no, I'm assuming that he's going to run 30 to 40% of routes to start the year. Like that's going to be his like route. His average route is going to be 30 to 40% route participation, but he's an electric player. He was a 2nd overall pick. There's a reason they took him there. They believe in the talent. So they're going to use him in games where it suits him, where he's more likely to have success. They're going to use him in offense. They're going to use him more in the red zone. They're going to use him on big splash plays. They're not going to use him. He's not going to be blocking out there. So I think that Travis Hunter is just like, I'm assuming he's not going to play a ton. And then, like you said, the upside is like, I think he's a fine pick at 150. If nobody gets hurt, I think he's probably a fine pick. I think he probably hits your lineup a couple times. But then the real upside is any injury to any of the 3 ahead of him. I think he takes a big jump and suddenly he's like an absolute smash. You're really happy to have him.
Exactly. And when you think about it, like a lot of these guys going in the 150s and beyond, they kind of need stuff to happen for them to be like big splash picks in that range anyways. You know what I mean? Like I like Isaac Tesla. He goes at like, 165 or something to his ADP or something like that. I think he's a really good receiver on a team that's just loaded, right? So he doesn't get as much opportunity. But man, the contingency upside, if a receiver goes down, I think is very high with Isaac Tesla. And on top of it, they lost Khalif Raymond, who was not playing a ton, but those 20 to 30% of routes and stuff like that, that could have easily went to Tesla. So now that's gone. Tesla is going to at least double, I think, in that route participation percentage that we're talking about here. So that alone, I think, makes him interesting, especially on a site like UD, where touchdown upside is a lot bigger, because I think you will still get some of those red zone looks. But the contingency upside is where you get the most or the best outcome.
All right. So I'd say that the pick here is either TJ Hawkinson or Deebo Samuel, Trey Harris. I guess Dalton Schultz also
I would go wide receiver, because again, we have TJ Hawkinson, Dalton Schultz.
Deebo Samuel also looking swole, by the way. Who's your preference of wide receiver?
I'd go Deebo.
Okay.
Yeah. I think right now we're drafting on July 21st here. If we're not trying to draft some Deebo, some Steph Diggs, guys that we know, just if they sign, the price tag moves a little bit. I think it's just dumb when we're drafting right now. You know what I mean? Stop drafting those guys once they sign. Get them now. Once they sign, you already got your share. You already got your 10, 15, 20% bags, whatever it is, and just live with it. You know what I mean? Because let everyone else chase the bag. You know what I mean? Chase their tail trying to draft this guy, and everyone's trying to push him up because they want to get him. And now Deebo's not going at 170 or 180. He's going at 150. You know what I mean? Let everyone else get that.
All right. So we are almost on the clock. It could be Dalton Schultz. If Dalton Schultz goes, there's Calvin Ridley, Jeremy Bernard, Jerry Jeudy, if you believe, Dontavian Wicks. Could Tank Dell also quarterback play?
Yeah, we can go Schultz. I mean,
I think Schultz, since he fell with the quarterback,
and that worked out too, right? I know you like TJ Hawkinson. I know you wanted some TJ Hawkinson, but like TJ Hawkinson, Dalton Schultz.
Yeah. I feel the exact same about. No, I'm with you. Like I think that did work out perfectly, because I'm indifferent since we have both quarterbacks to which of them we get between TJ Hawkinson and Dalton Schultz. Maybe slight preference for Hawkinson just because we don't have any partner with with Kyler, so like to stack them up. But like
I think if we had both there, I would just tell you to take TJ because we don't have another Viking. So I agree with you there. But like, to me, what's the real difference? You know what I mean? Like I don't see much of a difference.
Yeah, no, I like that. That was great. We got Schultz falling a little bit, and didn't have to make a decision because both Hawkinson and Trey Harris went. So it was a pretty easy one for us.
And this is what I talk about with tight ends. Like, look, we got some pretty just like solid. They're not fun, but like Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz, they're just solid tight ends. They're going to give you double digits a few weeks. Maybe you get a spike week once or twice if they get like a random game where a couple receivers miss. That's about it, So
yeah.
I see Neil's craving jerk chicken and what was that?
Not wrong. Jerk chicken and wild rice. I'm a Minnesota guy, so wild rice, pretty big thing here in Minnesota. But yeah, jerk chicken, love it. So can't really disagree there. What were you gonna say? I
see my guy the Spaniard in chat. Greetings to you as well, my friend. Good to see you in these streams. I know we're so far behind. And our boy Who Hams, double stream, double likes. That's a true friend of the stream right there.
That's good.
True friend of the stream.
Oh yeah, you're just as far behind as I am. That's good to see. Yeah, Who Hams pointed out AJB plays Surtain, so that could be beneficial to Trevion Henderson, Romeo Dobbs, etc. if AJ Brown is getting shadowed in week 17.
Do you think about stuff like that? Like AJ Brown's got to play Surtain, obviously Denver, Patriots. We all know the matchups, but when you look into like, okay, like that's kind of a tougher spot playing against, the best cornerback in football. Maybe that's the Hunter Henry week. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the Romeo Dobbs week or Travion Henderson type thing. Same thing with like Carolina. I was thinking about this morning. I'm like, man, Carolina's got to play Seattle in week 17.
Yeah.
That is not a friendly matchup for old Jonathan Brooks. I'll tell you that. Like I like Jonathan Brooks. I felt like we were drafting him early at like a nice value. I might just wash my hands of it now. I think I got enough Jonathan Brooks the more he's moving up. Just thinking about it. Like that matchup's going to be brutal.
I'm still doing it, but I am nervous about the matchup for sure. All right, we're at 3-4-6-3. We're on the clock. Sidekick thinks receiver. Do you have one you like?
I mean, I think receiver too. Pat Bryant is Tank Dell on the board. Jalen Noel.
Looks like
we can get a Calvin Ridley old if you want to start. I'll give you one old.
All right. I mean, we've got Debo already. Ridley, I have so much Ridley that I've been trying to like diversify off of it a little bit.
Oh, really?
Get into a bit more Judy. I mean, just a little bit. I do like the Pat Bryant shout out also. Plenty good.
Oh, there goes Jerry Judy anyway. So
yeah.
I mean, I think here it would be like a Jalen Noel or a Pat Bryant. So
you're not a Keenan Allen guy.
Man, I have not been sold. I don't feel as confident as some do in old Keenan Allen. Do you feel confident in him playing?
I feel confident. No, No, I'm a lot more confident in Debo after this week, seeing that he's working out and all that. Should we go Noel for the
yes,
the stack?
Yeah, no,
Dell working out.
That's the way you saw Dell. That's the way I feel about Keenan Allen. It's just like he could come back, but he's really just the way I feel about Keenan Allen, he's really just going to hurt the other guys he plays with as much as like, oh, is he going to really have like the big weeks that we want for like DFS? I don't know about that.
He was good last year for a late round pick, but it was still like kind of fell off a little bit later in the year. And he had, he'll do like the 13 fantasy points kind of thing, which is like, it's fine. Maybe hits your lineup, but yeah, I still like him in the 20th round, but I don't really need to pull him up.
Do I see Caleb Douglas at the top of the kick?
Some propaganda out there for Caleb Douglas this week. Zane, I think, was tweeting out some Caleb Douglas propaganda. Let me see if I can find what Zane said. He said,
Zane, stop talking about Caleb Douglas, Zane. I don't want to hear that. I actually drafted Caleb Douglas this morning.
I did too. So Zane said, he was quoting somebody else, said, the Dolphins insiders also believe Caleb Douglas is a very important rookie because how badly the team needs size and speed at wide receiver. This is consistent with previous reports. Caleb Douglas offers something that the other wide receivers do not, probably why they reach for him. Feel confident he's the most likely wide receiver to have a significant end of season role. That's just Zane's take. So it's not like coach speak or anything, but there's the propaganda coming from Zane and the people he's quoting.
Well, it kind of makes a lot of sense. And if you look at who the Dolphins drafted, and you look at their receivers, just like their whole depth chart of receivers, Malik Washington, not really a big guy, right? Small, quick, speed type of guy. Tutu Atwell, another guy.
Yeah.
Small. Like, was he like 160 soaking wet, 5'8", 5'9"? I mean, he's speed guy, just more of an over the top, speed guy though. And then you got Jalen Tolbert, who I wouldn't categorize as like a massive receiver. What is he, 6 feet? Something like that, 6'1" maybe, but like under 200 pounds. And then you get Chris Bell, who I thought was a steal of the draft. It's just the fact that you got him in the fall because of the ACL, the knee injury that he had. So that's kind of why he fell so far. If he didn't have that knee injury, he'd be going much earlier in the draft. But he's a big guy, 6'2", 220. They don't have that guy in Zane's, like whoever he's quoting or whatever. In their minds, probably it's like, well, Chris Bell is probably not going to play at the beginning of the year. They're probably going to be very careful with him. whenever he comes back. So they're going to like slow roll him, to make sure he's 100%. So the only other guy they have that fits that mold is Caleb Douglas. Kevin Coleman's another like small, shifty guy who they drafted. So literally Caleb Douglas, 6'4", 205, like that's really it. He's like the one guy they have. So it makes sense to me. You're on mute.
Yeah, okay, good. I'm back on the right microphone. I was saying that I'm making a face at the camera right now at Jim Helper for taking Caleb Douglas before our pick. Little office reference there. We are about to be back on the clock though. Keenan Allen's still there. Chris Brazzell. Yeah, we're Treylon Burks. Anybody else feel like you're Darnell Washington?
Oof, this is a rough range here.
Yeah,
man, you got to go receiver. Or unless you want to go running back, let's go Keenan. It's fine.
You hate it so much, but we'll do it anyway.
No. Like you said, in this range, if he plays, it's a win.
Yeah,
that's it. And if he doesn't play, you can survive a 0. It's 20 rounds on DraftKings. You can survive getting a 0 in the last 2 rounds.
Do you want to go running back? We only have 4, so we could go.
I mean, I think George Holani is the clear best pick here. We do have 2 week 11 buys though.
True.
And I don't think our team, it would be crazy to take a 10th receiver with Keenan.
Who do you like?
I don't mind the actual Bryce Lance shout.
We're not going to get him. Did we? We got him. All right.
We got him.
Look at that.
I actually think he's another receiver that has some contingency upside in an offense that's going to be pretty good. Weak schedule by the time we get towards the end of the year, Neil, he could be a guy that doesn't play a lot, but bang, Chris Olave's out for a few weeks. Bryce Lance moves in. You know what I mean? Or Jordan Tyson, who's another guy they drafted, but he's got some serious questions from can he stay healthy? I feel like they kind of babied him during camp early with the rookies and stuff. Who knows what his status is? I think Bryce Lance is a really good bet as a last pick, just from a security standpoint. You at least know you get a good offense, an offense that likes to sling the rock. Tyler Shuck wants to throw the rock, and you get 2 guys that are ahead of him that have serious questions from an injury standpoint. You know what I mean? Chris Olave with the concussions, which I know he was good last year and was awesome and everything like that, but you just never know what happens. It's football. And then Jordan Tyson with the hamstring and everything, else he's dealing with. So yeah, I think he's an interesting, last pick.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good shout. I think before we move on to our next draft, let's just quickly catch up on chat because we are so far behind. And I just want to touch on at least some of these things. All right, let's see. Hold on. I'm so far back. Davis says the blocking issues are a result of learning a new offense, positioning, timing, succeeding against NFL pressure requires precision. He was effective when featured. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking also. Brent, happy to get Chuba at 95. Then Saul wants more Brooks, which I'm on the Brooks team, but I do like if I see Chuba at 95, I'm taking him. Like if he's falling that far, like he's gonna have the first.
Yeah,
crack.
so 95, is that like your sticking point?
I've taken I've taken Chuba on teams where I need running back help, like at ADP. It's a rare thing. Like I'll sometimes pull up RJ Harvey ahead of Brooks, or ahead of Chuba, I should say, that kind of thing. So I'm not doing a ton of Chuba, but like I recognize that he's going to have the first crack at it, and if he's running well, he could keep the job. I just because I prefer Brooks in a vacuum, I often will push it. I have not been seeing Nick slipping. Kind of have seen him around ADP, and I've been trying to pull him up. Frankly, I've seen some FUD on him also, kind of both sides with Nick's, but I think I'm in. I'm largely just. I think the offense is going to be fast. I think he's could take a step forward even with the injury. So I'm generally in on Nick's. Yeah, Brent said he was thinking about taking both. I've done that before. Let's see.
I feel like I don't have as much Knicks. Just thinking about it. Not that I hate Knicks. I don't end up drafting him a lot, which is kind of weird because I do think he's a pretty good pick where he's going right now. I think it's just there's so many quarterbacks in that range, and by the time I get to that range, sometimes I already have two quarterbacks.
Yeah,
It's like
that's the tough thing is that it is like, well, I'm only going to take, because there's so many quarterbacks there and I have them all kind of grouped together. I'm usually going to target the one where I have the wide receiver,
correct.
and that's
Like
if I want a
like
quarterback at all in that range.
if I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, how am I not taking Jared Goff
Right.
if he's there? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and I think Jared Goff is an amazing pick, by the way. You want to talk about a guy that benefits from a schedule. I mean, he only has to play outdoors like 4 times this year. So a ton of indoor games, a softer schedule. I think the Lions are a very good offense to kind of bet on this year, and a team that probably honestly bounces back from, I'm sure what they would say is a very disappointing year, and bounces back. We'll see what they do. It was kind of the hot take last year that became mainstream, because everyone was like, Lions disappoint. Lions, like I heard a ton of people, me included, like I was on the Lions, like don't make the playoffs. The Lions, don't win, whatever their total was or whatever it was. I can't remember the number, but under. And I heard a lot of other, sharp people on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's not as of a hot take as I thought it would be because everyone's on it, but it was the right take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, I think it's going to happen the other way where it's like they kind of sun run with the schedule that they get and all these good environments for them. Kind of like how Denver kind of sun run with the close games, or how the Patriots with the soft schedule. We see teams like flip it all the time from year to year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm in. I actually moved Jameson Williams finally ahead of Mike Evans and Devontae Adams, which is pretty scary. It's a scary one, but I finally did it in my
Mike
own
Evans?
personal rankings.
You
I know.
disrespect Mike Evans like that? Oh,
I know.
no.
Listen, he's young and he's fast and he's on a great offense.
You hate olds, Neil.
I hate olds. There's only enough.
Wow.
There's only enough space for one old on my teams, and I'm that old. So you guys have to get in line.
Unbelievable. My favorite punt. So like last round, like stack doesn't matter. My favorite punt
at tight end.
Ooh, that's a good question. I think there's honestly a lot of good ones. It's one of the reasons why I like to leave my third or fourth tight end spot open for the last pick, because I feel like it's the best position to pick last. Because I think you can get a lot of players that are going to be out on the field a lot, that are going to be playing a lot, and that also have the upside of, if the guy ahead of them goes down, maybe they get even more work, they get more opportunity. I really like Michael Mayer. I really think the Raiders just looked at their roster. Brock Bowers, he is pretty much de facto wide receiver. Michael Mayer is going to be like, I think, a hidden value. They're going to play a ton with their best players on the field. And I don't know how, when you look at that offense, you can't say Michael Mayer isn't one of their best offensive weapons on the field. So, And Clint Kubiak loved to do it last year. Before Arroyo got hurt, they were jamming those two tight. They were really pushing, especially in the red zone, the 12 personnel and stuff. And they were really good out of the Seattle was one of the better teams, I think, passing out of 12 personnel when you go look at the EPA stats and everything like that. So, I think with Kirk Cousins and Mendoza, I think they're going to pretty much try and get those guys comfortable in those spots with their best players. And I think that's going to be a spot, because then they can run and pass out of that 12 very easily and catch teams off guard, maybe go into 13 sometimes. But yeah, I think Michael Mayer.
Yeah, I like that call. I take a fair amount of Michael Mayer, especially in these 20-round drafts where you can usually get him in the 20th round. I was doing it, I think it was last year too, and it seemed like it was going to work out. It might have been 2 years ago, but the year that he missed a ton of time for personal reasons, and we never learned what those were. But he just missed a ton of time, and that was the year that I had a lot of him, so that was disappointing.
Was that
but I think that
Bauer's rookie year, Neil?
It might have been 2 years ago. Yeah, Bauer's rookie year. This is a fair point on TJ Hawkinson. When has the Vikings bull case ever failed? Yeah, I do buy into the Vikings bull cases pretty easily. I've quietly started moving Jordan Mason way up in my ranks. And that's more of just like thinking about it more. I'm like, I have so much Aaron Jones, and I just believe more in Jordan Mason as the one who actually has potential to be the lead back and score 10 touchdowns if things are rolling for the Vikings this year. So I've been sort of quietly just like, all right, I'm gonna move. I took Jordan Mason at 97, I think today. That's the earliest I've taken him. I think that was on Underdog, but yeah. So I'm buying in. I'm buying back in on some Vikings again this year.
Well, we know that with Neil Orfield, all you have to do is say one good thing about the Vikings to get this dude to jump back in on his team.
You're right.
I mean, geez, all I got to say is one good thing, and he'll be back on the JJ McCarthy train. You watch. I'm going to say in August. JJ McCarthy's he's the best quarterback on the Minnesota Vikings right now. And Neil's going to be like, fuck.
The thing is,
I might have to draft
he's a pretty good fantasy quarterback. God. Senor Strong says the Yeet Cannon. I think it's Yeet Cannon. Marshawn Lloyd, the nickname given to him by his positions coach, the Yeet Cannon. If Marshawn Lloyd plays, maybe he will. Jacobs is a boring pick, and boring picks win drafts. That's true. That is true. I mean, that's where he's fallen. I think Jacobs is a pretty strong target. Can't really deny that.
I swear, like, I know people hate these guys like Jacobs, David Montgomery. Those are like the boring picks that you take that are like the fillers that help you. So like when people look at their team, they might not be like, wow, this guy like got it done for me. But they're not going to realize like that guy was a filler who hit your team a lot for like double digits that helped keep your team kind of afloat, during bye weeks and stuff like that, where you just needed a solid score or something like that. That's going to be Josh Jacobs. That's going to be David Montgomery. They're not going to be the sexy picks. They're not going to be the picks you're excited to click, right, Neil? Like no one's excited to click those guys.
Right.
But they're the clicks that like, you'll see even the sidekicks just like pick Josh Jacobs, but there's a reason. Like they're building you out of floor and those are the type of plays that, like Jim said, they're boring as shit, but they win.
The opposite of who Aim's trying to get me in. He says, you're going to fall for any Vikings guy. How about Damon Claiborne, speedy rookie? He says he's the guy you need. Marvin Moms, I like that username, says take Claiborne and hope for 2 reception TDs in week 17. Yeah, I mean, there's
I would actually rather Claiborne. Some of the stuff that I think Vikings beat reporter was talking about was how like Aaron Jones pretty much is going to be what they think the passing down guy. Jordan Mason, this is like the bullish thing with Jordan Mason, is like he's going to be more of like the first and second down runner because Aaron Jones is kind of not that guy anymore. He's older, so they're going to kind of use him in this path. But that's why they drafted like the Damon Claiborne. So like if something happens to Aaron Jones, he kind of fills the Jones role because he's like the speed guy and stuff like that. He can't fill the Jordan Mason role, but that's why I think people are starting to get bullish on the Jordan Mason role. But the Damon Claiborne thing still makes sense to me because it's a role Jordan Mason can't play. You know what I'm saying? It's literally a role Jordan Mason, no matter what you want to say about Jordan Mason, that he cannot play that role. So what happened? Aaron Jones can't stay healthy. Like he cannot anymore. Like he's had a ton of really good years. Even in those good years, though, he was always getting banged up, missing games here. And I just refuse to believe that Aaron Jones is gonna play a full season. And so, yeah, I think Damon Claiborne is like a last pick at running back. There's not many good last pick running backs. I think he actually makes sense if you need a running back with your last pick.
Right. Yeah, no, I think that he is a totally viable last pick. Like I don't take a ton of Damon Claiborne, but yeah, I definitely don't hate that as a pick. We did get into a draft and it filled before I could even tell people we're in. I think people saw. We got Jim Jerry in
we have the 5th pick, by the way, Neil.
Yeah, the one we were just talking about it being a boring pick, and here we go. I'll take JSN with the 5th pick. I like he was pretty awesome last year. So it's boring, but and sometimes you can get falls here. So it's like it's boring, when you get it, but then a few rounds in, we can be like, hell yeah, I love this team. It can't happen with a fifth pick.
Yeah, I mean, do you like building out a Seahawks Carolina stack?
Not really. Like,
Oh,
come on. What are the odds that's the game you need? Come on. We're the Seattle defense.
I'll just say something, Neil. It's always the weird shit. Remember week 1 when it was the Jets and Steelers game that shot out?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Justin Fields had like 30 points and 2 touchdowns on the ground, and the game was like 34-32. And that was the stack that was like that game, like just went nuclear and won tournaments on DraftKings. That's the type of shit that happens all the time, where it's like these random games that nobody thinks is the winner. And then boom. So yeah, like, do I think Carolina and Seattle are going to shoot out? No, but you never know when they just get in these weird scripts, right? Where Seattle gets up like 20-0, and it just forces Bryce Young and Carolina just to have to open up, and maybe Seattle is just kind of playing back, and
Well, we saw it in best ball like 3 years ago, maybe, with Amari Cooper. It was the Browns and Jets or something, where I forget what it was, but it was like, why are people targeting this game? This is like going to be the worst game environment. And then of course that was the game you needed. Like, just like Amari Cooper like went all the way off. Yeah,
it happens.
It's tough to predict these things.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna get Jamar.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
That would have been crazy.
Do you want to do something different? Do you want to do McCaffrey or something?
No, we could do JSN. You still said you still click him here. We'll do JSN.
I do, yeah.
See, you even sound defeated when you said that.
I'm not excited.
You're like,
about
I do.
It. I do it, but like, yeah, I'm not like, hell yeah, we got JSN at the 5. Like, come on, he's to me, it's like there's 2 tiers ahead of JSN to me. Gibbs, Bijan, that's almost 2 different tiers by itself, because I like Gibbs so much more than Bijan, but I really like Bijan too. So it's like, to me, Gibbs, Bijan is a tier. Puka, Chase is a tier to me too. Like, I don't care if I get Puka or Chase, but then it's like it's a 3rd tier to get JSN, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess I agree. What do you think about James Cook? First round, going at pick 9. What do you think? Because Zane was literally all over this dude. Like, Zane was like, we did a 555, and I took him with my first pick because Zane was like, we got to take James Cook, and I think I had pick 9.
I think he's fine. I'm definitely not like, I'm taking Jefferson over him. I'm easily taking Amon-Ra over him. I take JT over him. I'll take Ashton Genty over him, but there's where it's like, maybe you should take Cook over Genty. Like, those 2 are pretty close to me, like, because we have seen it from Cook. So there's he needs to be really efficient, but he's done it enough times that like, he's probably just going to be efficient. Like, he's on a really good offense.
Well, yeah. And he was making the case that James Cook actually has some upside in the passing game this year. And if that happens on top of the role he already has, then, he's a smash pick. So that was kind of his, James Cook bull case right there.
Like, we think they added DJ Moore and he's going to catch more passes this year, though. Like, do we really buy that? Is Dalton Kincaid going to play anymore? Like, they just have more pieces to throw to. I don't know. I'm not sure if I buy it, but maybe the coach speak is more bullish than I'm giving it credit for.
Sam says, you guys should play the NFL Athleta and prove your ball knowledge. Well,
do you like Bowers here?
Yes.
Me too. I don't know what the NFL Athleta is.
I don't know what that is either. So that's why I read it, because I was like, I kind of want to know what that is.
Yeah, what is the NFL Athleta? I would probably be quite poor at it. Because ball knowledge, as far as like remember a guy, is not my thing. I am not that great at it. Even though I've been watching football literally since middle school, like I was like really into it. I still am just not that great. The players retire and I forget about them, sadly.
That's fair. Yeah. It's like, if you ask me a question from like the 80s, I'm like, oh God, who is that guy? You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be good at that probably either. but I watch sports literally every day, all day. So if you ask me current stuff, I'll put it up there, but I don't know. If we're starting to go back a little bit, then it's like a remembering game, and
I'm too old. I'm too old for those memory games. Love me some, Robert Smith, Jake Reed, Chris Carter was my favorite player for forever. They got Randy Moss. I was still like, Chris Carter's better than Randy Moss. Then I, of course, love Randy Moss also. But yeah, I just general, like, remember a guy stuff. Just I don't really enjoy it that much. I don't know. But what I do like is playing trying to win last year's BBM on bbmdb.com. It's fun.
What is that? What is that?
I'll tell you after we make our pick.
Okay. And don't you dare say to pick the top guy.
I know you don't want the rookie.
Oh no, he's the week 17 bring back too. I forgot about that.
Look at that. Wait, no, he's not. Oh, for Bowers. Yeah. All right. We don't have to do it though. If you don't want to do it, we can go.
Who else do we have?
So we have Bowers and JSN. So we could go Kyron, Brees, Flowers.
Do you really like Jeremiah Love?
I like him. I see the.
Are you into him?
Though. I'm into him at pick 29, but
all right, click him. All
right, because we have the bring back, you're gonna let me do it.
I'm gonna let you do it.
I definitely see the warts being on a team with 4 running backs. But in a team that's probably not going to score a ton. So I see the warts of Jeremiah Love. It's just he's really strong prospect. He's probably going to be the bell cow, and he's going to catch a lot of passes, I think. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
So the BBMDB game is.
Oh yes,
I forget what it's called exactly, but if you go to bbmdb.com, there is somewhere on the top menu an option to redraft 2025 Best Ball Mania. So Best Ball Mania 6, and you can say either I want the 104 in August, and like you get to choose your draft spot and the week of the season, or you can just say give it to me randomly, and then it'll let you make your picks. And it's all based on last year's stats. So you're picking a team based on last year's stats to try to win Best Ball Mania. So like even with like knowing everything that happened in the season, can you draft the team that will win the regular season, win week 15, 16, and then of course win it all in week 17? And I won it on my very first try, but I have failed a few since then. So it's not always that straightforward.
Of course you won it. Unbelievable. Yeah, that's a fun game.
It is fun.
I could do that.
The hard part is like I don't really remember. Like I remember Kyle Pitts was great in weeks 15 and 16. I remember some players that were like on my teams in the playoffs, but I don't remember everybody who was like, this is the guy you needed in this week or that week. So
I remember that. I remember the Kyle Pitts stuff. That was insane. And it was 2 weeks in a row too. I'm pretty sure it just smashed.
It was 15 and 16. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so it's like I remember the players that crushed in the regular season. So like you take Javonte Williams and you take Harold Fannin, and like there's a lot of like obvious guys. You take Jackson Smith and Jigba, but then I think JSN was not that great during the playoffs. So then it's also a game of like, okay, who was great in the playoffs? Well, I know Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson in week 17, but yeah, it's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, Christian Watson, I think pretty good.
Oh, I think that
game.
Right. All right.
Actually, the Packers were pretty good. Like Jaden Reed, I think was good. Like I think the Packers were all pretty good.
We're on the clock. Luther Burden is at the top of the kick.
Luther B.
That's just an easy one for you, right?
Don't just tempt me with a good time right here. You want to talk about fun.
All right. Yeah, I knew you were going to want Luther Burden if he's top of the kick.
I mean, we don't see Luther Burden at the top of the kick anymore. They were known for their Bears hate. And then all of a sudden they have come full circle and allowed the Bears to kind of take over the top of the kick sometimes. It's very nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. I'm happy to get a Luther because I'm behind on Luther Burden. So good to add one to the portfolio.
Better fix that.
Yeah, I mean,
better fix that.
That's right. Well, that's the other. Like I said, like I'm so in on Jalen Waddle, and like I sometimes will take Terry McLaurin over Luther Burden, but I believe in the talent and the offense, so I don't really want to fall behind there.
Yeah, you can't fall behind on Luther Burden. You don't want to get burned by that.
Yeah.
Our logs is talking up. Really been enjoying these streams and have been enjoying drafting against y'all. Rooms have been good. It's been fun, man. It's been fun. We're gonna hopefully keep it going throughout the all the way up to the start of the year.
Exactly.
Or until this thing fills. I mean, we'll see when it fills.
I was just at that comment, and then I'm like scrolled a little bit. Now I can't find it anymore. But yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, there it is. Our logs. Fiza wanted to get into the draft with us also. Sadly, we fell pretty quickly.
Yeah, you got to be quick. You got to get that phone ready. You got to make sure your location is checked. Everything like that. You got to be very, very quick. Neil didn't even give a heads up too, which was the other.
I did. Yeah,
heads up.
You had to be watching the stream to see that we were.
So
the kick wants us to take a running back. I would be willing to go with one of these wide receivers instead.
I was wondering if JMO's still there, because you said you moved him up. So
I did. He's top of my queue. JMO goes. I also do love Christian Watson, so I'd be fine. But also, if you want to go Trevion Henderson again, that's cool.
I would be Trevion, Tootin, or Watson. I mean, if you want to go with another wide receiver, it's not bad. Like I'm into Christian Watson. I'd probably go running back here, but that's just me.
All right, let's go Trevion again.
I like it.
Since I know you don't believe in the rookie, so we gotta really bolster that running back room.
Now we got two guys that have big question marks, but that's all right. It can be the question mark backfield. We'll take Chuba Hubbard next.
David asked Neil, Juicy Lucy or Skull Dog. I don't actually know what a Skull Dog is. I assume that's like a Twins game thing, some type of hot dog. Juicy Lucy is not my favorite type of burger. I prefer just a regular burger. In my experience with a Juicy Lucy, you bite into it and then just like hot cheese squirts all over your face and scalds you. And it's just not my favorite experience. There's probably a way to eat it. Like maybe you cut it in half first or something. But I'm actually not a huge Juicy Lucy
time out. When you get a burger, you don't like cut it in half before you eat it?
No, you do?
Yes.
Like regularly?
Like you want to get stuff all over you. You want to like, so wait, you get a burger, you take the whole burger and you just bite into it and let all the stuff come out on the sides. That's a waste.
Chat, back me up here. That's weird, right? Nobody does that. This is like, you're clearly not a guy who eats a lot of burgers. Like just based on like what I know.
I eat burgers all the time.
Do you really? Okay.
Yeah. I eat burgers. I eat like burgers, chicken sandwiches and stuff all the times. I always cut it in half.
I'm not even going to say that's a Massachusetts. I lived in Massachusetts. I never saw anybody cut their burgers. That's a John thing. That's a JSU thing. Cutting burgers in half. Okay. All right. At least you
got to cut it. No, but you got to cut it in half because it's too big. So when you take a bite of it, you're going to lose stuff on the sides. Like if you got pickles and onions and lettuce and whatever else you put on your burger, it's just going to all gush out on the side. And then it's like, now I got to like pick it up with my hands or my fork, put it back in my sandwich or just throw it in my mouth. Like, I don't want to do that. You gotta
hold it. You hold it on both sides. So you're holding all the stuff in there. Drake May here with
too much work. Yeah. Drake May.
Jordan Tyson, Parker
No,
Washington.
Drake May.
Yeah.
Drake May.
Love it.
Be a man. How about be smart? You got those Kenny Pickett hands. Hey, listen, I didn't say my hands are huge, but they're not small. I got thick fucking fingers. My wife actually makes fun of me all the time. Yeah. We're all little, but we have sausage fingers.
Nice. Yeah. I've learned that I can still grip a basketball. I like for years I was like I thought it just like,
well, you're a big guy though, right?
I mean, I'm 5'11". Like I'm not like a giant dude, but I'm pretty average. But I have like really long arms and I think long fingers. But yeah, like since I started playing basketball again, I found that like,
that will help.
It helps when
like
you're
long
playing.
Fingers.
Yeah, long fingers. But also just like when you start playing, like you like get the feel for it, and like it just like becomes more of a like I don't know, your hands get softer, so you can like grip the ball easier.
When I played, when I was like in high school and stuff like that, I could actually palm a basketball.
Nice.
I can't do it now, but like my like grip strength was good enough. My hands weren't that big, like I said, but my grip strength was so strong that I could squeeze and palm a basketball. But
nice. Maybe if you started playing again, you'd be able to again.
Probably, yeah, if I wanted to, but I don't play anymore. Playing basketball, you're just asking to get hurt at this point. Once you hit the old
you're not even that old. Come on.
I know. I'm going to be 35 in like a couple of weeks.
You're a young man. Okay, do you want to go Pollard, Jaylen Warren, somebody else?
Do you have a preference between those two? Because I have Warren like one pick ahead of Pollard, but
I'm cool.
I view them very similar.
Me too. I've got more Pollard, so I'll go with Warren here.
Go with Warren.
Yeah.
Because I know some people that are talking up Rico Dowdle, and obviously Pollard's guy is Tajay, who goes way later. Do you have like a Warren Dowdle take?
Not really. I think DraftKings, you take Warren. I think he's going to be more involved in the passing game.
Me too.
A little bit closer on underdog. The only person I've heard make the case really for Dowdle is Steve Schaup from Fanspeak was like Dowdle over Warren. Even when they're both available, he had me take Dowdle ahead of Warren. To me, it's like I don't have a strong enough opinion to reach for Dowdle over Warren. So like if they're both there, I'm going to take Warren. But also I maybe will just push it around the turn if they're both there and hope that one of them makes it back. Yeah, I don't know. It's not something I have a super strong opinion about. But I know Nez is really in on Warren over Dowdle, and he's a Steelers guy, so I assume he's got his ear to the ground there.
I am too, but because like you said, I think he gets like the Gainwell role, which I think is the better role with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
that's kind of my overall.
You think that Dowdle gets the Gainwell role?
No, Warren.
Oh, Warren. Yeah, right.
So, like, to me, getting whoever's playing the Gainwell role in an Aaron Rodgers-led offense is going to be the more valuable back. It's not going to be the plotter role.
Yeah. This is funny, the difference of opinions on Jeremiah Love. Spellkowski says, Love is last year's Ginty, which is, I'd say, pretty bearish because Ginty missed in a big way. But then OTR says, do you really like Jeremiah Love? And he says, the third overall pick in the third round. Points like that's kind of absurd that he was the third overall pick.
Well,
and we get him in the third.
Neil, if we're playing
we're on the clock. Sorry.
Oh shit. Okay. I was gonna say, Trevor Lawrence is still there. I mean, do we have anyone?
We don't.
I still think you could get him. Well, Chuba does make sense for our team. I like Josh Downs.
Oh shoot! Didn't have time to click Chuba.
Yeah, that's all right. I think Trevor Lawrence.
I would have actually clicked Josh Downs potentially.
That's okay. I think Trevor Lawrence at that fall is a decent pick.
We're talking about this in my Discord a little bit, by the way. Free to join if anybody wants to join the Flaniverse Discord. Link in the description of the Flaniverse YouTube. We were talking about whether Trevor Lawrence is somebody that could win in Week 17 without any stacking. And we, kind of had a little bit of a back and forth on that.
I actually love Lawrence in stacks. I think those are like very viable where you get both of them and somehow you get like the rushing upside of Trevor Lawrence in Week 17 plus like maybe a passing touchdown, which we saw them do a lot because they scheme up a lot of plays to the running backs even in the passing game. So don't squirt hot cheese. Yeah. He wouldn't do it if he cut his burger in half. I'll say that.
Maybe right. Maybe that's all I got to do.
But to the point that he was just making about the third round pick in the third round. Well, Neil, who was the fourth overall pick in the draft
this year?
Yeah,
Cardinal Tate.
Where do you get him?
You get him. That's fair.
Get him like in the sixth round.
Okay. All right.
What about Jordan Tyson?
I see the point you're making.
You know what I'm saying? So if we want to play that game, we can play that game. I think the whole point behind this is you can draft, you can say what you want, but like we were over drafting these early running backs, these early receivers. I assume you want Jaden Reed, right?
I like Jaden Reed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We were overdrafting these guys for the last few years. The Marvin Harrisons, the Ashton Genties. These were the worst picks in best ball going in the first round, the second round, and stuff like that. And I said that. Tedero McMillan last year, I hated Tedero where he was going. These were all, in my opinion, bad picks just because of a lot of the unknown stuff we haven't even seen. And we're drafting them at, I would say, a pretty high like not maybe their top tier draft capital, but pretty close already for a guy that's never played a down of football in the NFL. And it's like, man, let's just see it a little bit. But everyone wants to be first on those type of players, Neil, that they can't help themselves. Now we finally, as a best ball community, have decided, okay, we got to stop doing this a little bit. It's gone too far. And now we're starting to see guys go probably where they should be, or still maybe a little earlier than they should be, but closer to where they should be. And it's corrected itself, in my opinion. So you can say what you want about like, oh, Jeremiah Love, 3rd overall pick, 3rd round. That's a value to me because last year he would have been a 2nd round pick. You would be right. But the problem is we were all wrong. Everyone was wrong about that 2nd round pick or that Ashton Genty being a 2nd round pick last year. So it's just, it's the rookie thing. We all want rookies. They're fun, right, Neil? Even I will say, like, man, Jordan Tyson is a fun rookie. Like, that's a fun rookie to draft. I'm not going to lie. I want to draft Jordan Tyson. Mekhi Lemon, fun rookie. I want to draft those guys. But, like, I also want to, like, caveat, like, those guys would be going 2 rounds earlier 2 years ago.
Fair.
Values on all rookies right now. If you like rookies, draft them, but it's everywhere.
All right, I'm queuing up Jordan Mason and Romeo Dobbs. I think Mason would be my pick here because Dobbs sometimes falls.
Take Mason just because.
Oh, Love is also a possibility, by the way.
We have 2 quarterbacks, though, right?
We do. Yeah.
Yeah, now. Take Mason, and here's why. I think our running backs, we might need somebody like Mason. And I'm not a Mason guy. I'm not pushing him up the board like most people are right now. I understand why they are. But I think for this team specifically, where we have Travion Henderson, we've got Jeremiah Love, we have those guys that are like the boom bust type guys, right? We need someone that could give us technically a little more consistency. Maybe not the upside, but just like an okay floor if that role is what it is. And the offense is better with what should be better quarterback play, right? Because you can make the case like a little better quarterback play, a little more consistency at the quarterback position, and everyone else kind of plays a little better. The running game, everything like that. Yeah. So that's the idea behind it. And Minnesota does have a good offensive line. So, I think he's the right pick where we're picking at right now with the team we have.
All right, Jordan Love does go 1 pick before us. I'd be fine with Khalil Shakir, or we could do one of these tight ends. We could pull up Stephon Diggs. What are you thinking here?
I'd probably Rodriguez. I'm fine with Shakir, or one of those tight ends. I just don't think we need one, right?
Yeah, we have Bowers. So
yeah.
We're not exactly desperate at tight end. That's. I feel like that pick is always a tough one for me at 125 because it's always a lot of players I like and not really a lot of players that I love there. And like Khalil Shakir is like I have so much Shakir, and I think he's a good pick. I think it's just objectively.
Who are the best picks, Neil? Best picks were the tight ends.
Yeah,
we didn't need the tight ends, but they were the best picks, in my opinion.
Yeah, they were a bunch of the best picks. Shakir was, the top of the sidekick, and I hard to disagree with that. I think Shakir is just, I think he's 50-50 to outscore DJ Moore this year. And DJ Moore goes in the 5th round.
More I thought about it, we should have took Jalen Coker.
We could have done
with JSN. Yeah. I personally think even though Khalil Shakir plays on a better team, I just think like Coker has a better chance than Shakir to give us like that monster game in week 17 or week 15, 16, whatever. Whereas Shakir, man, he's playing behind a lot now with DJ Moore there. They draft Skylar Bell.
Whoa. He's not playing behind a lot because they drafted Skylar Bell.
Yeah, well, no, he's playing behind a lot because he's playing behind DJ Moore, Dalton Kincaid, and Skylar Bell is going to be a thing. I guarantee you, Neil, by the end of the year, Skylar Bell is playing real solid reps for that team. Keon Coleman is not a thing. He'll never be a thing. They'll try and make him a thing. It won't work. Then they have all these other vets, right, that they throw out there. Who was it last year? Brandon Cooks. Remember Brandon Cooks was one of their main receivers.
Palmer.
Josh Palmer. They try everybody, right? They finally drafted this kid who's actually pretty good, and I don't think people realize how good, but he's going to be a like solid kid that I think Josh Allen will build chemistry with. So I think not in the beginning, but by the end of the year, I think he's playing, and I think he's playing real reps.
This is slam Chris Rodriguez, right? I guess he's only 2 picks past ADP, but
you can take him.
You don't like it? Who do you prefer?
No, take him.
Okay.
I think our team kind of needs someone like Chris Rodriguez too.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Let me just go back to the burger conversation a little bit, because I just want to because I asked for chat to react to you cutting your burger and ask for reactions.
By the way, before you talk about this, just to finish out, do you see Jim Jerry's comment?
No.
I didn't even see his comment.
Where? Is it recent?
It's recent. It's one of the last comments.
Shakir
the one right above it.
Are going to benefit a lot from DJ Moore. It's the same argument for Hunter Henry being helped by Brown. And yes, Skylar Bell will be a guy for them this year. They love Bell. Yeah.
And he's a Bills fan. I'm telling you right now, they like these type of players. These are guys that they haven't really had a lot of, but like Skylar Bell is going to be one of those, like, just put him wherever and he's going to catch the rock. He's going to give you the consistency that you're going to want, or Josh Allen's going to want, as opposed to like the Keon Coleman bullshit that they don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? That they're already getting fed up with. The old vets and stuff. They need youth, right? They need some youth. We stop throwing out those damn veterans. You got DJ Moore now. He's a vet. Khalil Shakir is now a solid vet. They need a little youth. Skylar Bell. You don't like him, huh? You don't draft any Skylar Bell?
Not been drafting him, but you convinced me on Skylar Bell for sure, especially on DraftKings.
Yeah.
So we're only at 4 receivers. I guess we have fairly strong receivers, but unfortunately we did not get Trevor Lawrence, who I was kind of counting on. We could do Brenton Strange here for our staff.
Yeah. When you asked me who was the I'd go Strange. When you asked me who was the best pick, I was gonna say Chig to go with Trevor Lawrence, but then I was like, no, probably Chris Rodriguez is a little better pick. But I do think Chig and Brenton Strange are really good clicks in that range.
Yeah. Well, especially because we have Trevor. I was hoping to get Travis Hunter, but he went at 136 in this one. He kind of goes all over the board. So he went really early in this one. And then Omar Cooper went. He also would have been a pick that would have been. So I think Brenton Strange, on a team where we took Trevor unstacked, now we get the stack there. Unfortunately, we did not get Romeo Dobbs to pair up with Drake May. So all we have there is Trevion Henderson, but I think that's fine. I think that's a pretty strong stack.
Do you like like a booty at the end of the draft?
I don't do a ton of booty, but I'm open to it. I could do some booty.
Only if you felt you needed another Patriot.
Right. Sometimes Hunter. I do plenty of Hunter Henry also.
Because it does seem like he wants to stay in New England. So
yeah. I think he's an option.
Not a fun click, obviously, but if you need a Patriot, I mean, Drake May is a quarterback though. Like Drake May, Trevion could get there. You know what I mean?
For sure. They could work just those two. So JSU cutting his burger. Spencer Smith says, weird JSU. TubeSec says, never cut a burger unless it's monster size and can't fit in your mouth. Spelkowski, I don't cut burgers because I'm an American, but if they cut them in a place, I don't care. Charles says, my mom cuts her burger, but she raised me right. Full burger JSU on that Applebee's burger with a knife shit. JSU is wrong here, and I defend his warm water take. You're losing flavor, Spencer says. Sam says that he does cut his burrito, so there's that. Rich wants to put you on a watch list. I cut my burrito, actually. Yeah.
How the hell do you cut
it? Well, I sometimes do. You just cut it in half.
Like,
yeah.
Oh no, because then now it's coming out from both sides.
Yeah. Well, no, you cut it in half and then you eat from the side that's cut open.
Yeah, but now you have two of them to deal with.
You do, yes. But is that a bad thing? Now you get two burritos.
Well, that's true. that is a good point. You do get two burritos. We're up.
Yeah. CJ Stroud at 164. That's pretty nice.
Do we have a third? Yeah, I guess.
We've only got two quarterbacks.
Who's our Houston? Or no, we have a week 17 bring back. Yeah. I don't see anything else in this range.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty great. CJ Stroud at 164 because he's somebody that I've taken at 130 before, I think. So, yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, he's a weird guy on DraftKings. I feel like he goes at 140 and he also falls sometimes where you get him at like 160 like we just did. It's very, very odd. Maybe some people just hate CJ Stroud after what he did last year.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it.
I don't eat those small ass burgers. I don't eat those small ass ones.
What type of daiquiri to order? That's funny. Getting roasted in chat.
That's all right.
Oh, the Skull Dog has bacon jam on it. That sounds kind of fun.
Roast me, but don't you dare put me in the word daiquiri in the same sentence. Do I strike you as a man? If I were to drink, which I don't drink, would pull a daiquiri out, that is the last thing I'd pull out. There'd be nothing at all fruity.
Do you drink like zero? Interesting.
But if I did, it would just be like straight alcohol. It wouldn't be like fruity alcohol or anything like that.
There'd be no like good strawberry daiquiri from time to time.
No, there'd be none of that.
It's a rare thing, but it's a rare treat.
The wife likes those though. The wife does enjoy those.
They are delicious. Do you want to go Dalton Schultz, John Surabian, Trey Harris? Something else.
We already have two tight ends.
Tank Dell went, sadly.
Oh, damn.
Here's the wide receivers if you like any of them.
I like Stribling, but Schultz pairs with CJ. We can just go Schultz here and then hammer out wide receiver the rest of the way.
Okay. Yeah, we're at 3-5-4-3. So we could just like end it with a bunch of receivers or kind of take best available.
I think this team probably needs receivers the rest of the way. Who are our receivers? Run it down real quick.
Yep. So I'll run down the whole team. So we have at quarterback, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud. Running back, Jeremiah Love, Trevion Henderson, Jalen Warren, Jordan Mason, Chris Rodriguez. Receivers, and we only have 4. It's JSN, Luther Burden, Jaden Reed, and Khalil Shakir. And then at tight end, we have Brock Bowers, Brenton Strange, and Dalton Schultz.
Well, at least we know we have 2 horses at receiver.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got 4 that are all like, I think, pretty good. So it's not a strong receiver group.
No.
But we can make it strong with numbers now.
Yeah, it's too bad Tank Dell went. That's
I know.
Bummer.
I was counting on it. Red Sox postponed. Damn. Spencer's pick 8 here apparently.
It's pouring. It's going to be pouring out here all day. That was a given.
It's too bad.
And I think thunder and lightning.
If AJ Brown helps Hunter Henry, why does his absence help Goddard? Schrodinger's tight end.
Why would his absence help Goddard? Well, one, I think Goddard and Henry are used a lot different, especially in the goal line. Just the way they get Goddard involved in the goal line, I think is very different. And also you can make the case, like, as crazy as this is, but like he's their second best pass catcher on the team. Or the second most comfortable that Jalen Hurts is throwing the football to.
Stribling goes one before us. Calvin Ridley is the sidekick pick, but I'll pull up all the wide receivers. Antonio Williams, Dontavian Wicks, Jeremy Bernard, Pat Bryant.
God, this is a rough range.
Yeah.
Dontavian Wicks. Williams goes with our. I'm not into Williams, but he goes with our Jaguars stack.
He's also the faller. I'm not really into it either, but
kind of fits the team.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Washington doesn't sign a
Right.
receiver.
Yeah, it's man. For a team that needs wide receivers, we did run into a room that apparently took a lot of wide receivers.
It is a good question though, Neil, about like the Dallas Goedert stuff. Like it does make sense. Like AJ Brown probably does affect Goddard in the whole offense more than we're giving it credit for.
Yeah, like it could, like the whole Eagles offense could be a lot worse for sure.
Just in general, yeah, it could be worse. So
yeah,
but I think also though everyone's like, okay, the OC's out, they got a new OC in, they're hoping that makes a difference. They bring in Mekhi Lemon, they draft Eli Stowers, they're hoping that those guys. So yeah, is it AJ Brown though? You make a good point. Like it probably does affect everyone more than we want to admit.
Yeah, it is a good point. All right.
And it probably hurts Saquon more than we want to admit too.
Yeah, they could just load the box.
They don't like throw it to him as much as in my head. I would think, you know.
What do you like here?
I am. God, I hate all these receivers. Ted Hurst or Bernard.
All right, let's go with Jeremy. Go to the top of the kick. No buy overlap.
Yeah, and then I'd say like if it comes back, like Noel, Pat Bryant.
Speaking my language. You like Rashad Bateman at all?
I would rather take shots on like Surratt or Walker or Lane personally, but if you want, yeah, like Tez Walker. I mean, we've seen the Rashad Bateman stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm just not into it as much.
But he had 9 touchdowns 2 years ago. I don't know. I guess I'm sort of hopeful that with a new offensive coordinator, they can turn things around.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Walker and these younger guys are like maybe a better bet, but maybe I'm looking past the vet.
Yeah, it's a like I don't think anybody really knows. We're all kind of guessing at what's going to happen.
We're guessing. Yeah. So Surratt to me makes the most sense, just as like a third receiver. If they don't bring anyone in, that's another spot though. Like, what if Steph Diggs goes to Baltimore? I hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I don't want.
I wouldn't mind it for my Diggs bags. I wouldn't mind it.
For my Surratt bags, I wouldn't like it. But you know, it is what it is.
Skylar Bell and Keon Coleman go to the same team here, by the way. Charles,
really?
Making a bet against Khalil Shakir.
I was gonna say to you we should draft Skylar Bell with the 20th pick, but okay, I guess we can't.
All right, Hurst goes.
You want to take Noel or Pat Bryant?
Yeah, let's go.
Is Pat Bryant already gone?
Looks like he is.
This room is ruthless.
Yeah. Friends and family drafts, man.
This room is absolutely ruthless.
Yeah.
We can't even draft Pat Bryant in the 18th round.
Sad stuff. Jeez. I mean, he's been moving up, so that he might not even be listening to us. It might just be Pat Bryant bull. He's kind of all over draft boards lately.
Who? Pat Bryant?
Pat Bryant, yeah.
Yeah, he makes sense. I mean, they obviously like him. It's just more like, oh, they added Jalen Waddle. Oh, Pat Bryant couldn't stay healthy at the end of the year, kept getting concussions. That's never good. Like,
yeah.
But if you look at if you just kind of look past that and look at how they use Pat Bryant at the end of the year and kind of like threw Troy Franklin to the side, you know, after using Troy Franklin pretty heavily in the middle of the year or beginning of the year, whenever it was, it was clear to me like he overtook Troy Franklin.
Do you like Surratt here?
Yeah, if we're just talking like overall, I'm Surratt over those guys you have.
All right, let's do
The
that.
kick says Lane, but like the kick is literally just like alternating between those guys.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I
just
don't think the kick is like, oh, I like Lane more than Surratt. It's just like in this set of Sims, like Lane is the one that's getting the role, you know?
I've heard Pat talk about that on his Tuesday show, that like that's part of their how they try to do it is like he's not overly confident in Surratt being better
Correct.
than Lane. So he doesn't want it to give you Surratt over Lane every time. So it's
Every
kind of
time.
built into the Sims that like, yeah, we're gonna have their range of outcomes close enough because we don't really know who's gonna be the guy. So then if you do feel strongly, like you think that you're really confident that it is Surratt, then you can just IKB any Lane to Surratt. Which I sometimes do, but not always.
And I think you can take them both and go easy cards. I've talked about this in other streams, but like I think you can just take them both, and then you're just rooting for nobody to sign with the Ravens, and you have them both. And one of them's probably going to be a 0 or a bust if everyone's healthy, but the other one's probably going to be a good pick. And I always keep saying this, but like on DraftKings, if you have one bust on your team, it's not the end of the world. Like your team can overcome 1/20th or 19th round bust.
True.
You don't want the 0, obviously, but your team can overcome it.
Who is the Colts wide receiver 3? I believe currently it's Ashton Doolin.
That's who it is. I mean,
for now,
he's going to be like he's going to have that big average depth of target. He's going to be doing a lot of the clearing out, all this clear out stuff, trying to go deep and everything like that. But I think it just should make you more bullish on the Colts, like main guys. Because I see the Colts, I don't know if you see it this way, but like I see the Colts as being like a pretty condensed offense.
Yeah.
Similar in ways to like Atlanta, where it's like Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson.
How do you feel about Caleb Douglas in the 20th round? Or is it somebody else? Do you like Chris Purcell or somebody else better?
No. Do Caleb Douglas. That's fun. We have Khalil Shakir. Got like a little game stack pairing right there. Fun.
So the final team, we have a 3-5-9-3. I didn't even read off the last one because we needed to get into a new one. But the final team here, 3-5-9-3. The 3 quarterbacks are Drake May and Trevor Lawrence and CJ Stroud. Running backs are Jeremiah Love, Trevion Henderson, Jalen Warren, Jordan Mason, and Chris Rodriguez. Wide receivers, we have Jackson Smith and Jigba, Luther Burden, Jaden Reed, Khalil Shakir, Antonio Williams, Jalen Knoll, Jeremy Bernard, Elijah Surratt, and Caleb Douglas. And at tight end, we have Brock Bowers, Brenton Strange, and Dalton Schultz. So are we stacked up? We have Drake May with Trevi, I guess just Trevion Henderson as the stack with Drake May. But then we have Trevor Lawrence with Brenton Strange. We've got CJ Stroud with Dalton Schultz and Jalen Knoll. All in all, pretty stacked up team. I like it. How do you feel about the team?
Yeah, I like the team. We're definitely going to be leaning on. We got a lot of youth at the wide receiver position, kind of at the running back, our 2 main studs too. But at least we got some vets at running back, to back them up a little bit. But wide receiver, we definitely need, Luther Burden to kind of show out and be the big ceiling, fantasy football stud that I think he can be, in JSN, to pretty much play like he did last year for this team to hit. Because if not, Neil, our wide receivers are just going to be so bad. We're just not going to have like the depth at wide receiver, because I feel like when you scroll down our team after like that first 4 or 5, we just got a ton of young guys that like we don't really know how it's going to fall for them. It could fall really well for some of them, which we're going to need. We're going to need like a couple of those guys, but we still need like that consistency at wide receiver. So we need JSN and Luther Burden to really be smash picks here. But if they are, I think this team has a shot, because we got top tight end, I think we've got a solid spread of a running back room where we've got the 2 ceiling guys and then a few just like solid, like floor, guys that can give us decent weeks. And then I like our quarterbacks, obviously. So we got good quarterback play. So I think every other position, we're pretty stacked in.
Agreed. Yeah, no, I feel really good about the way we built out the team. We're like we started with some strong receivers and we held off a while and we kind of built it out with depth. And I feel like we're going to be covered there. We're obviously, like you said, we're great at tight end with Brock Bowers, and then just adding on a couple more like decent mid round tight ends. Running back is questionable, but like I think we have the depth there, and I see higher upside in Jordan Mason than most. So I like it.
To go to team 8 real quick, Neil. That's our guy Spencer Smith. He said he wanted us to check it out real quick.
Let's do it on the board. It's easy to see what happened there.
The
so
that's him. Lights.
Jonathan Taylor and Chase Brown, Zay Flowers, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson, Marvin Harrison, DK Metcalf, Kyle Pitts, Blake Corum, Rashad White, Mark Andrews, Stephon Diggs, Aronde Gadsden, Denzel Boston, Jerry Jeudy, Aaron Rodgers, Nick Singleton, Tyreek Hill, and Shadur Sanders. Oh, and Brandon Ayuk. So we had my only real dislike about this team is a lot of zero risk at the end. To me, a little bit more zero risk than I would like. I love the start. Like I think that Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, 3 in your first 4, and then you got Zay Flowers stacked up with Lamar Jackson right away. Love that. Marvin Harrison, I think definitely breakout candidate. DK Metcalf, not my favorite pick, but I think he's fine at 80. Kyle Pitts at 89 as your tight end 1. Okay. Love Blake Corum at 104. Rashad White at 113. I think is pretty strong. Mark Andrews added onto the stack. Stephon Diggs at 137. Love that pick. Aronde Gadsden, I think is fine as a upside swing tight end 3. A lot invested in Cleveland. I guess maybe it's just those 2 with Boston and Jeudy.
Well, you got Rodgers. That Cleveland Indy games week 17. He's got JT, right?
Yeah, he does have JT. That's a good call out.
Yep.
Singleton at 200, I think is fine.
Yeah.
Some zero risk there, but I think it's fine. But then Tyreek Hill to me is, and I know he recently posted videos of him working out and stuff. I think there's a real chance he just doesn't play this year. Same thing with Brandon Ayuk. Like you said, it's a 20-round draft, so like you can take a 0 in a 20-round draft. It's not the end of the world. The team could still certainly work out. Certainly, it's just I don't love taking Tyreek Hill, Brandon Ayuk right now. Maybe you see it differently, John. Do you like taking these guys any better than I do?
I don't love taking those guys, but I will say, like, if you want to take one of them, fine. But in my opinion, looking at this wide receiver room, you've got a lot of, Zay Flowers, great pick. You pair him with Lamar Jackson, but like Marvin Harrison, there's risk there. You know what I mean? We didn't. He's obviously dropped. He was super talented coming out of college. Everyone loved him. 1-2 turn pick. Disappointed last year. Michael Wilson outplayed him tremendously last year when he got the chance to. Does that happen again? There's definitely questions, right? And then like the Carson Beck stuff. Does Carson Beck play late in the season? How does that affect Marvin Harrison? It might affect Marvin Harrison the most, honestly, of anyone, because who's going to be the friendly, go-to guy for the rookie? Probably not Marvin Harrison. Probably going to be like Trey McBride. You know what I mean? If you want to make that case or something like that. But DK Metcalf, I'm fine with. You can say like number 1 receiver. Okay. I think Michael Pittman's actually the better bet. I think he just fits better with Aaron Rodgers. But my point being, when you look at your receiver room, I think there's a lot of question marks with your early guys. And then you take a bunch of tight ends and running backs, which I like all those guys. So then you take 2 guys at the end that are potential zeros that don't have a team. I don't love that just with the way you built out your team. I would have rather take shots on like Elijah Surratt, a Jacoby Lane, a Devontae Walker, Rashad Bateman, like to go with your stacks or anything like that. Guys like that, Bernard, who we got later, you had Aaron Rodgers. I don't think you needed the Nick Singleton pick, even though I kind of like Nick Singleton as a bet. in the 200s. I don't hate him as a pick in general. I just think for your team, I don't think you needed it. If you were going to take Tyreek Hill and Brandon Ayuk, I would have probably went, what do you go, 9 receivers, Neil? How many receivers do you have?
You went 3, 6, 8, 3.
So I would have went like 9 or 10 receivers on this team because you took 3 running backs early. They all have different bye weeks. You could make the case that this team could be a 4 running back team. You could have stopped at Corum or White and made one of those a wide receiver for sure. That's what I would have done, and then not take the Singleton pick and take another receiver here. I would have went 10 receivers if my plan was to take Tyreek Hill and Brandon Ayuk, take those potential zeros, give me at least 10 receivers on a team you start 3 running backs with. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. So I think my biggest problem with this team is not actual team itself. It's the fact that you took those potential zeros. You should have went 10 receivers, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think that's right on. Like, just like the receivers, if you're going so high risk early with receivers, and then you just add on more and more risk towards the end. Spencer's saying that I'm building in depth when I draft. I'm looking for upside. Just to me, you don't have a ton of sure things there. Like, you need some kind of base at wide receiver, in my opinion. So overall, just
and you can make the case depth at wide receiver is going to be very much lacking if one of those guys doesn't sign. Just one, right? That brings you from 8 to 7.
And I think like best case scenario for Tyreek Hill, I believe, is like start midway through the year. So like you're probably taking a 0 at least for part of the year with Tyreek Hill. Brandon Ayuk, who knows? Like he could play the whole year.
Ayuk, best case scenario is that guy is, I don't even know what is the best case scenario for him. Like is there a crazy team out there that actually signs this guy and gives him a chance?
The Browns. I'm trying to think which team is crazy enough to take
the Browns of all teams.
Well, I mean, just the Browns just don't give a shit. Like they'll take anybody. But yeah, they have a lot of wide receivers.
I get upside. I get betting for upside. It's you just have a lot of unknowns. You could still do the upside that you're talking about, but have drafted 9 or 10 receivers to give you the out of, if those 2 guys don't play, you still have 8 feasible players at a 3, like you must start at least 3 of them on every team position. That's all I'm saying. I get the upside bet. My problem isn't the zeros potentially. That's not even my problem. It's just that you took 3 receivers or 3 running backs with your first 4 picks, all different bye weeks. You set yourself up perfectly for 10 receivers.
Yeah. Players do their outs there. Just I don't know. Jason says best case scenario from a value standpoint, it stands about anywhere, will be a top 40 pick for sure. Not looking super likely though. Yeah, he will be a much earlier pick if he does sign somewhere. But yeah, just getting.
If any of these guys sign, they're going to be a much earlier pick.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyreek Hill will fly up boards if he gets signed.
I need to move on just because I do have softball early tonight and I'm getting picked up, so I don't have a ton more time. But we had a couple more people in the draft. We had, let's see, Charles is pick 11. I think it was Charles who said, if you want to see, what did Charles say? If you want to be negative, review that 111 team. All right, well, we'll take a look real quick at Charles's team. So Charles goes Saquon, Omar, and Hampton, like that. Jalen Waddle at 35, Josh Allen at 38. So a bit of a fall there. Christian Watson, BTJ, Cortland Sutton, Bo Nix at 86, Dalton Kincaid at 107, Jacoby Myers at 110, Jalen Coker, Tyrone Tracy, Tyler Algier, Jonah Coleman, AJ Barner, Trey Harris, Keon Coleman, Skylar Bell, Pop Douglas, and Theo Johnson is the team. So that's 2, 5, 10, 3. So the quarterbacks are Josh Allen and Bo Nix. I think those are pretty strong. And like Bo Nix at 86 is obviously a bit of a reach. I don't know. What do you think about that? Because he took Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix back to back. I feel like Bo Nix is likely enough to make it back at 107. That when you already have Josh Allen, I probably would have taken a Pittman or a Pitts or somebody else. Like there's good enough players there that I probably would have pushed Nix. What do you think, John?
Yeah, where was the Jalen Waddle drafter?
He is the He has both. So
Oh, he
I guess
had
that's part.
both.
That is part. He has Jalen Waddle, Cortland Sutton,
Yeah,
and Bo Nix. So maybe he just really wanted to make sure he got him.
I think, yeah, he did really want to make sure he didn't get sniped on Bo Nix. My problem is though is so you already have like the two main pieces that go early with him, but also you already have a stud quarterback. That's
Right.
actually my problem with reaching on Bo. I would actually have no problem with him reaching on Bo Nix if he didn't take the Josh Allen. But since he took the Josh Allen, I would take the risk that Bo Nix can make it back to me just because I have the security of the best quarterback in fantasy football. So if he doesn't get back to me, I'm okay. You still have two good players in Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton on an offense that you know is going to throw the ball a ton. It's not the end of the world, right? You can draft still some Patriots late. You could have drafted a Romeo Dobbs or a Hunter Henry and got like a Patriot or something for a week 17 thing. So, for me, I actually would like the Bo Nix pick better where he got it because he is on the end of a board, Neil. So it's still like you are asking for a lot for him to make it back to you when you're on the end of a board. So I get being worried, but it's the Josh Allen pick that makes me not like where he took Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Like because you didn't really need a quarterback, he could have pushed it. I think 107 is like right at ADP for Bo Nix, so it's not even
It
like,
is. It
especially
is.
when you have both the pass catchers, it's like probably greater than 50% chance he makes it back. He is, sometimes getting steamed up, so not definitely making it back, but there's a pretty good chance, I think. So yeah, I think, but I agree with you. Like the big deal is just like you already have Josh Allen, you don't really need to
In the
push it.
fourth round too. Like it's a solid value on Josh Allen.
Yeah, exactly. Nice and stacked up though. He has Knicks with both Sutton uh, and Waddle, and then he adds on Jonah Coleman for the team stack, and then on Josh Allen, he's got Skylar Bell and Keon Coleman and Dalton Kincaid with Josh Allen. So nice and stacked up there as well. Yeah, I think it makes sense for this to be a 2 quarterback team. The running backs, he starts with 2 and then he waits a while. I like that. Barkley Hampton waits until Tracy Algier and Coleman. So like not a ton of depth, but I think it's a fine 5 running back room. Strong wide receivers, and then tight ends. He has 3. They are Kincaid, Barner, and Theo Johnson. It's like borderline deep enough. I guess Theo Johnson could do something. Barner is going to be a fine tight end too, I think, and Kincaid probably fine as a tight end 1. Yeah, I think that team is fine. I don't, not too negative about it.
Yeah, I mean, you could poke holes in the tight end being a little weaker, like just from that's the third tight end spot. But I do like Barner. He has Josh Allen to pair up with Dalton Kincaid, so it's not horrible as long as listen, if Kincaid gets an expanded role and isn't being taken out all the time, he's going to be a smash pick where he's going right now on DraftKings. So
Right.
you have that upside, and I think AJ Barner is a smash pick at 171 or whatever his ADP is on DraftKings. I think he's a very valuable pick over on DK where he's going right now.
Yep. Charles says normally I let him fall, but last draft naked Knicks went and I wanted the stack. Yeah, I mean that is true. He does sometimes go naked. People want to throw on a late Pat Bryant or something.
Yep.
Always a
That's
risk.
the problem with those late like those late stack teams. Like everyone knows, oh, I can do naked Bo Nix, and if not, like Pat Bryant's there.
Yeah. And then Jim Jerry just his only comment is my running back room is really thin, even though I have Jahmyr Gibbs. But he has Gibbs and Montgomery. I think that's a strong start. But then he waits Woody Marks, Jadon Blue, Katron Allen, Damon Claiborne, and Amari DiMarcado. So you need something to go right beyond the top 2. I do really like both. I'm a pretty big Montgomery bull this year. Like I think he's going to get so much volume that I think Montgomery is a totally fine running back too. Yeah, it's a little bit thin overall, but not the worst running back room because I think Gibbs is just a lock and load every week running back 1 as long as he's healthy.
Yeah, Gibbs, Bijan, those guys are lock and load. They, pretty much just assume they're filling one of those spots every week.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with like Chase and Puka, in my opinion. Like you're really hoping those guys just fill your spot, almost every week. So, that's how I'd view it, especially the running backs though. But I don't know about you. Like when I take an early tight end, it does feel worse when I take a earlier quarterback. And I know it fits his team with Devontae and Mike Evans, but he took 2 early tight ends kind of because of the Tucker Kraft thing.
Right.
And I think that's what made the running back thing look much worse, right? Was because he took those 2 tight ends and then Hurts in there. But yeah, I agree with you. Like the running back room, it's just a lot of bets that are very risky to hit early. So you're going to need a lot for Montgomery and Gibbs early.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I need to get a move on. So we will get out of here. John, anything else that you need to tell people about? What do you have coming up this week?
Well, I'm going to go and eat my burger that I am going to cut up.
Look at this guy.
But no, I'm just kidding. I already ate. But I got a show tomorrow, 9 or 8 p.m. Eastern with Sacrilegious. We'll be ripping some more DraftKings drafts over on the Rumpier Sports and the Legendary Upside channel. So check that show out with Sack. And then Thursday with my guy Felix. And then back on Friday with, I think, Connor Allen, who will be joining me on the channel. So, yeah, a bunch of stuff going. We'll do another high-stakes stream on Sunday. Been doing those. A lot of fun. Training camp. I think everyone reports the 28th. So, should be fun once all the teams report by next week.
We're getting there. So close now. All right. Well, check out those streams with John. I will be doing my podcast, doing a live recording at 4:30 Eastern tomorrow with Davis Maddock. So come tomorrow for the live stream of the Best Ball Whenever podcast.
Tell Davis that I personally blame him for the Terrence Ferguson smoke and the ADP rise.
He's 100% to blame for that. Yeah.
I personally blame him for my Terrence Ferguson going from 30% to like 22 or 21 or whatever it is.
No,
I can't get him anymore.
I know.
Ridiculous.
He's moved way up. Yeah, it's definitely Davis's fault. So I'll let him know that. Yeah. So come if you want to join for the live recording tomorrow. Otherwise, it'll be out wherever you get your podcasts on Thursday. In the meantime, please do like, subscribe, comment. If you have any comments, all of that is very helpful to us both on both of our YouTube channels, The Flannelverse and Rumpier Sports. All right. Thanks, John. Thanks, everybody else. We'll see you next Tuesday.